Ciao, my fellow Jamaican baby dolls, welcoming you to another juicy episode. We're going to speak about Richard Heart's roadmap. This picture has a lot of weight behind it. My gosh, the amount of stuff to unpack from here, friends. Automatically, you look down here, stablecoin from my exchange that I'm making. So if you see this picture circulating around, it is real. Some people don't actually believe that this thing is real. Yes, from 2021. They just, because remember, friends, there's Richard Heart Old Testament and there's Richard Heart New Testament. Richard Heart in the Old Testament, so that was cycle 1. He was more direct. We only had, at the time, there was one coin. Okay, there was one coin. It was Hex. There was no chain, Pulsechain yet. There was no DEX. Richard Heart didn't even like yield farming. He didn't like yield. He didn't like any of those things. Well, probably did, but they weren't his, right? But now I guess he's updated his worldview. And crypto has progressed. It's not even really him updating his worldview. It's just that crypto's product market fit creation, we've expanded beyond just Bitcoin. Even though I know there's been like a lot of real rough patches when it comes to the altcoins. But you can't deny it, right? You have everything. Like even on CoinGecko, you can see Ethereum, like layer 1 chains, have a product market fit. Stable coins, whoa, we're going to speak about that one as well. You have Pulsex, so you have the DEX, right? All from Uniswap. Okay, so a lot of these solutions that have been made, we actually find in crypto that they're sticky. They're sticky. They're not just your average, like, you know, random poopy coin out here that claims to be some sort of amazing technology that no one really gives a crap about, okay? This was back in 2021. Are you good at Golang, okay? Want to make 175,000 American dollars a year? Do you speak good English? I want to hire you. Remote, blockchain software all sucks. We're making it suck less. Geth fork just starts. So this was pretty much the OG Pulsechain stuff out here. So what I'm going to do, friends, I'm going to show you. This might be like the insight as to what's going on out here. Now, here's the thing, friends. A lot of people also wonder, why doesn't Ricardo Corazon, why doesn't he just come out and say, this is the roadmap, this is the thing? It's just how he works, man. It's how it works. And look, only bad things happen when you tell everybody the roadmap. Did you know that? It's negative EV. It's literally negative EV. Okay. Maybe not only bad things, but it's net negative. Okay. You create expectations for people. Okay. That's number one. So people believe something's happening. And you might say, hey, but that's okay for you. Yeah, that's okay for you and me. But the people actually building stuff, it ain't okay for them. They can't rush things even more. And we've seen what happens in crypto, friends. When you create a roadmap, people just expect things to get done. And they base it into their existence of the chain and stuff. And having a roadmap, it doesn't even really mean anything either, right? You just write down some words. So it's literally net negative, okay? The first thing that is even written here, Pulsechain mainnet MVP, Testnet. So we did have a testnet, and that's why a lot of we did not know. We thought at the time, oh, they're just testing some things. Why is it taking so long? There was, I think, some pDAI related tests happening out on the testnet. I don't know exactly what happened, but it would be kind of cool if we could see some similar Pulsechain Pioneer activity that would have been happening on the testnet, such as like what happens if you try to raid Pulsechain Aave, Pulsechain Maker. Could you accumulate them over time? Can we simulate people selling tokens so you can accumulate the governance tokens, all these other stuff happening? And when you see a lot of these big things from, I call them the Pulsechain Pioneers, when you see everything out here pointing to pDAI and stuff out here, you got to think, hey, were there multiple test nets? Well, remember, friends, Hex actually peaked in April of 2023 when we had testnet version 3. That's when it pretty much peaked. I still remember that, 12.7 cents. Ah, man, it was crazy. Friends, you want to know what was wild, man? This is the most wild part. Johnny Chaos, he made a bet with Eric Wall here. I think it was there, don't quote me. He made a bet that Hex would hit 15 cents before Bitcoin hits 100K. Okay? It looked like such an obvious bet, man. And it was obvious. Look at that down there. And it's crazy. Just to show you, Eric took the other side of that. I was like, dude, now you're being too greedy. It went all the way to 12.7 cents. And then it went down only. This was Hex from Ethereum. So this was the launch of testnet version 3. All right. So testnet version 3, pretty much, because that was like the final version before things were ready to go. And then we had the launch as we went into May. And also, we go down interesting points in time, which we can see if we go to May 2023, because we all know them now, thanks to yours truly, me talking to you about it. So remember, on May 9th, friends, on this day, May 9, MakerDAO released Spark, which Spark protocol, I guess, it distributes the yield of DAI into SDAI. So it distributes the yield. And the yield is the fees coming from the borrowing and everything happening with MakerDAO. Okay. That was on May 9th. As soon as they released it, the Pulsechain snapshot was taken. That's why it leads us to believe that Richard was waiting for SDAI. He was waiting for that to be done. Then what happened is on May 10th was a snapshot. May 11th, pDAI was minted by whitelisted addresses, which people still don't have explanation for. They say, oh, it's the AMM, or it's doing this, or it's doing that. Look, man, there's just too many things stacking up. I don't have all concrete answers. It's too many things that just stacked up here that just show that it's not random. Okay. And then it launched on May 13. Actually had the dump, sell the news, which actually got donked as well. Okay. So just showing you, those are the series of events that happened. And we're taking them back to the time. It just feels like it's all planned, right? And look at the other things that were on here. GoHex.com working with pHex as well. The bridges, ETH and large ERC20. So we're still doing that, right? Remember the bridge that's out here. A lot of people wonder, why is that bridge slow? It's because it's the only bridge that's never been compromised. Okay. It's the oldest working bridge. Yeah, it is slower, but it's safe. That's what you want. And then everyone wants to add the risk. They can do that later on. You just want the slowest and the safest stable bridge. Then you can add like Deep Bridge or maybe Phantom, whatever. These things can come later on and they can do their own shebang. A Uniswap V2 front end for Pulsechain. We have this at ethhex.com already. A Block Explorer, Block Scout for now. Hopefully Etherscan guys later. Etherscan, I think they charge $1 million, I think. To get this, maybe it's even higher now, or maybe it's even lower. Who knows with Ethereum price. But yeah, if you go down as well, friends, look at those, all these things. Trading, Pancake Swap forked, all right? Fork of Uniswap, insanely important. LP rewards for ERC to PRC20 pairs. So we did that on PulseX. Yeah, we did it on PulseX. We tried it. It was done at the end of 2023. Liquidity wasn't coming in. Yeah, it was pretty much like it was poop. It was just altcoins going down. It didn't work. It didn't work. It got some money in, but people just came in, they dumped, but didn't do what everyone expected, right? They expected like hundreds and billions of dollars to come in from Ethereum and it to be vampired, but no one was interested in coming in, okay? But does that mean it's over? No. Doesn't mean it's over, friends. A coin ranking site for PRC20s. I believe someone actually did make this and it just showed you how far away things are from their parity of the ERC20. Man, that'll be funny. If the PRC20 tokens go up, man, that's going to be wild. Man, just imagine, friends, all these Ethereum people and speculators from XRP and Cardano and everyone else, and they're just coming and look at these PRCs. They'll just be buying stuff. They're like, oh, this is going to go and match its ERC20 just because the other one did, right? That might be like the extreme parts of euphoria. Look at this. Wallet. Replace MetaMask. Electron app for cross-platform. So think about this. Replacing MetaMask. We did see Richard Hart release messages about the wallet suggestions. We also saw during that time last month, Heinz, the wallet guy. Remember we saw the post? The Heinz wallet guy had left the project, but had been working on it for 3 years. So all these things coming together. Uniswap, but across chains. Just to let you know, Uniswap, I think it is cross-chain now. You can do that. I think they're their own platform on Uniswap. That will grab liquidity from Arbitrum or the best price from Arbitrum. It'll do the bridging and stuff for you. So Uniswap is doing that. I wonder if that's the next thing. More bridges to start. Then BTC, BNB, Bitcoin Cash in that order. Very interesting. I wonder why Bitcoin Cash. Why I was even doing that in that order. Maybe it was based off the market caps or something back then. But yeah, this was a different time as well. Stablecoin from my exchange I'm making. Very interesting. Stablecoin from my exchange I'm making. We don't know if that's going to go through because the exchange, well, we saw BitMEX. Remember, BitMEX was for sale. And we speculated, hey, would Richard buy BitMEX? Because you need a license and stuff out here. It's easier to buy like a company that's always already running, but you need someone to like run it. I wonder. So I wonder about these. And also the word stablecoin, man. Stablecoin. Very interesting. That's why, friends. Yeah, stablecoin. How about you get stable to the upside? It just makes you think about this stuff, right? He also has an aggregator. Replace 1 inch. Market orders and limit orders. Margin trading. Interesting. All right. Well, you know, if you buy BitMEX, it has margin trading already on it, all done. Don't know how ambitious and all this stuff were. It could have been a reflection of euphoria as well, friends, because it was 2021 when we were doing it. Like Hex was like 10,000x. I don't think everybody expected the collapses that much. But yes, it's just showing you, man, this stuff, it's there, it's happening. It takes a while to do these things, but it ultimately it's a believer cycle, right? It comes down to how much you believe. So when we're looking at all of these, just remember, like, you see names and labels and everything else. You're like, oh, is it going to happen or is it not going to happen? I can't take it anymore. Well, when we look at the business ISM cycle, friends, all of the stuff that appears, it always appears with ISM above 52, the big part, the sine wave part up. Okay. Also interesting, another thing, right? When he was actually making this post, it was business ISM 60. See? It was business ISM 60. Many people think, oh, we're never going to get there again. We're just going to be doomed forever. Okay, what if we do get there again? We onboard more people in the world. Stablecoin supercycle, meme coin supercycle, whatever it is that keeps appearing out here. The future is looking pretty bright. But the whole time, no one's going to come out and tell you, hey, this is definitely working. It's all definitely happening. There is no risk. You know, if there was no risk, we wouldn't get the upside. So you tell me, do you believe? Like, subscribe, bell button, catch you soon.